Hi everyone, this is a video to introduce you to Module 2 and some of the assignments that we'll be working on now. So in Module 1 that you just completed, you finished your first creative writing assignment. That is the creative nonfiction photo essay. That assignment is one that will take me a little bit longer to grade. I grade it with a rubric and I do leave inline comments for you so that you can take a look at some of the things that you're doing well and not so well on and start working on improving for the next writing assignment. So I will get it graded before you have to turn in the next one, but don't expect comments on it immediately. So I'm going to take you through the assignments in Module 2. We are starting the fiction writing unit, and you have two modules that will go through this unit. And so you'll see module number 3 will show up here within a week or so, so that you can kind of see where we're going with this. So short stories are the types of fiction we're writing, since writing a novel length work in this class would be pretty well impossible. So we are focusing on short stories as our fiction. As you go through this module, you'll be learning about short story writing as well as some of the tips that you need for writing creatively just in general. So we do have the journal as linked in here again so that you can keep up with your journal entries. Remember, you are supposed to write 2 entries per unit or per module. If you get behind, that's okay, but you only have until module 4 to complete the first 8 entries, so make sure that you are keeping on top of them. Our quiz is right here. It's just like the last one. You go through and you can take it more than once if you want to, but it's focused on the chapter over fiction writing. We have some information here. I try to link in things like videos and other information like about characters. It's kind of written out here for you, so information items to help you out. And then practice, if you want to, you can practice some character sketching, and then we get into the assignments down here. Now you are working on 2 collaborative assignments and then your first short story. So the first collaborative assignment is called a wiki. Wiki is kind of like Wikipedia, where you have several people. We have, well, in this case, the whole class. I haven't divided it by group. The whole class can edit the page. So you don't have your own thread like you would in a discussion board. Everyone can see and edit the same page. And so I've already set the pages up for you, and then your contributions need to be down here. So basically what you're doing is, as a class, you guys are writing stories. And see, when you look and see what the wiki looks like, you can see these are the instructions. This is the story starter. So the story 1 option. The sample got stuck here in the middle for some reason. This is story 2 option, and then this is the 3rd story option. What I've done is also posted a sample so that you can kind of see what it looks like if multiple students were working on it. And so you can read the directions. It's a little bit more complicated, so I highly recommend starting now, because if you don't, then you will end up unable to complete the entire assignment. Now, one of the issues with this is sometimes if you get in and you try to post all of your contributions all at once, you won't be able to, because you need to leave space for people to get in between your paragraphs. You're not supposed to post back-to-back paragraphs, because I want that collaboration involved. So what you may need to do is, if it's getting to the last day of the module and nobody else is posting, make sure you send me an email, because I will go in and make a contribution so that you have something to work off of. The idea with this assignment is that collaboratively you will create a story, which means that it's really important you are feeding off of the other students in the class. So they are providing ideas for you and getting that inspiration going. So you can read the directions for that. It's a little bit more complicated, so I highly encourage you to start that now. The other thing that you'll be doing is Oh, I forgot to talk about this. Short story review discussion board. We're going to do several of these during the semester, and basically what happens is you're going to create 2 posts. You're going to read a short story. There are plenty in the textbook for you to choose from, and you can also look other places, as long as you are not reviewing a story that somebody else has reviewed. So you're going to post about it, and then you will read your peers' short stories, go through it. You can pick several to look through. You don't have to read all of them necessarily, but you can read through most of them, look at the ones you think are most interesting, and then post a reply post to your own thread with your 3 favorite that you saw. And so if you do this fairly early on, you may only have, 3 or 4 to choose from, in which case those would be your top 3. I encourage you to post early and then go back and for your response post, just so you have more to choose from. It's a little bit more interesting. The whole point of doing this discussion board is to give you a chance to see what professional work is out there, and what other people are writing, and then what your fellow students think of what is out there and what has been written. So this will take you a little while, and encourage you again to start immediately. The last thing you'll be working on is your first short story submission, and this is the point of view short story. So the most heavily weighted criteria is going to be writing the story has to be written from a certain point of view. In this case, you are choosing a well-known story. This could be any story that is a lot of fairy tales are used, but anything that's kind of contained. You want a contained story. And you're writing it from the perspective of the villain. So the assignment sheet actually is all the way up here. So these are minimum story requirements. It's supposed to be a short story. You do have to have a beginning, middle, and end. You're going to end up with a page and a half to 2 pages at least with this story, although the minimum is only 500 words. You are writing from the perspective of the bad guy. So you want to be considering the motivation of the bad guy, why he or she may have made those choices, and what makes their actions seem reasonable within the storyline. And so a lot of students do use fairy tales, fables, things like that. So something that's nice and short and contained. But some students also, they like to use movies that have been made, particularly if there's a clear good and bad character. You may want to avoid big franchises. So although Thanos is pretty cool, he's got quite a few movies that have been made about him. So that might be a little bit harder to contain. But maybe not, I don't know. It is entirely up to you. If you are having trouble deciding on what to use, send me an email. I can give you some ideas. If you have several you're working on and you're not sure what to do with it, just send me an email. So otherwise, we're just getting into fiction writing. A lot of you I know enjoy fiction, and this is kind of your preferred genre, so enjoy it while you can. This module will lead into the next one where we continue working on short stories, and so I'm just going to keep in mind that those are the skills we will be practicing and learning about as we go through. So keep an eye on your grades. If you have any questions, of course, be sure to send me an email as always, particularly if you're getting stuck on any of the assignments or our first short story. So have a great weekend.